Hey guys, this is Brightworks and Post here. I just wanted to explain myself for something that happens later on in this video where I miss a big explosion, and I wanted to apologize for that. I was recording this video in advance for a event that I was going to. Didn't have time to go back and rewind it, so if you're wondering why I didn't go back and catch that, that's a little bit of an explanation that I felt I owed you guys. Anyways, I hope you enjoy. It really feels like we're going through another Renaissance period. We got a brand new map, tons of high-skilled players, and I'm sure a whole lot of fun to check out today. Welcome back to the Brightworks, everybody, where we're going to be taking out a look at a brand new map that goes by the name, pardon me, just adjusting the camera here, of Hellas Basin. Version 1.0 here, apparently by Nakuxis. That name rings familiar. I can't remember what other map Nakuxis has built, but I'm sure that they built some of the other ones. We are so lucky to have such excellent mod makers too, but map makers in the community of Beyond All Reason. They really are pumping out some true beauties. Today, this map looks pretty interesting. Now, you tell me, this reminds me a little bit of a map that everybody's well familiar with. I won't say the name, but I'm pretty sure you can guess which one it is as far as the layout goes and this little land bridge connecting the two main islands over here. But there's certainly something to be said about this interesting little high-rise in the ocean that has some metal extractor spots on it over here. We've got a little bit of a land-based naval situation over here as well, kind of a navy into land kind of an operation. Should be good fun to see how these commanders conquer all this. All these commanders, like, for instance, our blue team leader, who goes by no name, shall forevermore, at least in this cast, be called the blue team leader here, or I guess underscore. There we go. Said it once, so now I never have to say it again. Our blue team leader, who is spawning as an armada commander and going to be sending a couple of those ticks across the map already. Our red team leader, spawning a little bit in the back line. I guess you would compare this to like a mid lane position right here as a red commander, well, as the red team leader, but as an armada commander. So going for a little bit more eco off the start here. We do have two wind turbines that were handed over to the tank commander. Makes me think maybe, yeah, we're waiting on a transport over here. Looks like we handed those off to the wrong commander. Yeah, I guess we gave some to the tan commander and some to the maroon commander. We're just handing out power left, right, and center to anybody who needs it. I don't mind it. Certainly a viable option, right? Just hand out some of that energy to help those backliners get up and running even quicker. Get those very effective transports and other stuff sent across the map even faster. Oh, nice micro right there. Yeah, transport. Oh, there we go. Transported the commander forward to catch a couple of those ticks right there. Beautiful stuff. All right, so this map, I'm expecting some really good stuff. Oh no. Out in the seas, the daring pirate that always makes a debut on our streams, and will oftentimes make a debut on our streams, goes by the name of Vanaja. One of the best naval players that there currently is in the game right here. Our green team player on the southern side, dark green player, Walrus. Definitely going to have their work cut out for them. Yeah. This is a tricky one. This is going to be a really difficult lane to hold here for the green commander. Hopefully the air player here for the blue team is on top of it and get a couple of shurikens out there. Can really help the green commander get a very, very efficient early game done. Otherwise, this is going to be a nightmare. Beautiful scouting over here, by the way. Maroon commander sending an air scout across the map here to make sure that we keep track of where exactly the enemy's positions are. It will scout out the base of the green commander Skyfire here. We'll get into the backline as well. Looks like we're going to find Marabello's commander. Oh, maybe not. Okay. Let's switch to the view there. No, we actually didn't manage to find the Cyan commander's main base. Okay. This is not one of those maps where it'd be impossible to guess, right? Figuring out where those are, not necessarily the hardest thing in the world, but certainly a little bit harder when you don't know exactly where they're building their bases to go for, say, for instance, bombing runs, run-bys, all that sort of good stuff. Gunboats being pumped out right here. Looks like those gunboats will jump on top of one of these missile boats. Yeah, not bad. We have gunboats coming out right here for the green commander as well. Gonna be sending a couple of those across the map, and we're going for a submarine. All right, nice. Vanaja going very heavily into the gunboats here. Apparently going for a little bit of a different build than we usually see here. Gunboats into a frigate. I wonder where we're going off of on the back of that here. Yeah, we got frigates, missile boats, destroyers, all sorts of stuff. Coming up in the back line here, we've got two constructors already out. Those are gonna be going around, grabbing up a whole bunch of those metal extractors. So important when you're playing in Navy to make sure that you're grabbing the metal extractors because these units are so incredibly metal dense. For the time being, though, it's gunboats versus gunboats. And they're going to jump on top of this constructor, and I fear that green constructor may have no longer left to live. Down it goes, blasted to smithereens and sunk to the bottom of the seas. No longer shall it hold any precipice on the high seas right there for the green commander. We do have a nice little fight going on in the middle of the map as well. A couple of blitzes moving forward right here, intercepting a couple of grunts that were running forward for Commander Zod. Absolutely love the aggression right here. These are 4.3s, by the way. My goodness, these metal extractors are well worth it here. I think we get 4.3s in the main base too. Yeah, so a total of 8.6 metal you start off with here in the front line. That is a crazy powerful economy to start off with. That is really, really huge metal investments. Certainly more than enough to go into, say for instance, proper vehicle spam. But you could also always go into a whole bunch of bots as well. And you have to invest quite heavily in energy if you want to do something like that. But if you make that investment, it could certainly be well worth it. Bunch of ticks managed to run on by. Okay, this is great. Ticks managed to find the build power right here for the lime pink, or the light pink commander, pardon me. The lime pink, that's an interesting color. Gonna catch some constructors here too. I mean, how many ticks do we have in total? 16 ticks, and more than happy to blast away at whatever they can find. Commander Zod's commander, trying to find a purchase here. Yeah, having a tricky time landing with those ticks blocking the landing zone. It'll kill a couple of those, but not all of them, and those ticks continue to run into the back line, and here goes the entire red economy going to be dispersed. A mighty bit of laser-bitten justice right here. Oof, cries out the red commander, who now has to deal with a whole bunch of ticks in the back line, tearing apart this entire economy extremely efficiently. Beautiful control and all that, by the way. Spreading out the ticks and then collapsing them towards the center to do maximum damage. Beautifully, beautifully done. We're going to peel a couple of these off here, hopefully. Split these off to go get the metal extractors, but this is another entire base taken out right here. Oh. Apparently we have a boombox. Congratulations, you found an Easter egg. Capture for a surprise. Intriguing. Part of the part of some of the work that I'm sure Hornet is doing. Hornet, a player that I believe was spectating this. Oh no, that Hornet is actually playing in this match. Well, would you look at that? There we go. In the backline, going to be going for some good old-fashioned Cortex technology. Right about to sacrifice the commander, I do believe here. We've got a couple of advanced solar panels popped up already, and we're going into some energy converters as well. All looking pretty good in the backline so far. We've got a T2 transition already underway right now from the Lavender commander, so that's good to see. Hopefully we buy T2 and send them all over the place right now. Oh, Skyfire moving around, okay. Manages to dodge an anti-air right here from the red team. Does manage to transport the commander around, and beautifully done like that. Manages to get up onto this high ground here. We've got tons of LLTs to keep this island safe, so no incursion over there. Trade, cries out the red commander. This is, yeah, you gotta keep moving. There we go. Okay, we're going for a D-gun. Hug and die. Xeno Dragon in a bit of a tricky situation right here because, yeah, essentially forced into a commander trade right now. Going to hug that commander to death and down go both of their corpses here. At the very least, it means that we can transport, yeah, constructor over there, eat up all that juicy metal, and all will be well. We've got a torpedo launcher situation coming up right here, but there's already a destroyer out and running right now for some 10 random. Our red team leader. And that will be the swift and just end to the green commander's reign, and at least that metal extractor. Not bad. Marabella trying desperately to get a foothold in the ocean as well. Interesting to transition away from the front line here. We've kind of gone midline into frontline medium tanks and all that sort of stuff, and then now we're into the seas. Not the end of the world though, and effectively playing the same position as the red commander here. I imagine on a new map like this, I don't know how many times these not new players, but how many times these players rather have played this new map. Likely this is probably the first time that many of them are seeing it. Does mean that strategies are going to be figured out as we continue moving forward. Shuriken paralyzing a whole bunch of the army right here, and oh no. Vanaja already running away with a tremendous lead at this point. This is not looking good. Fighters more than happy to stick around over here and get blasted out of the skies. Shuriken trying to clean all this up, but there's just no way. There's nowhere near enough Shuriken to paralyze all that, and even if there were, there's not enough units here to capitalize on the amount of paralyzed ships right there. Yeah, they'd have no chance of ever actually cleaning those up. This is a tough battle. Essentially 3 versus 1 in the Navy because you're going to have the support of backliners here as well. Call it 2 versus 1 for as far as production goes for the time being, though. Down goes the lab right here for Marabello, the Cyan commander. Shuriken trying to save the day right here, but the anti-air is thick, and it will mean that those light paralysis drones get shot right out of the sky. Destroyer's far forward. Uh-oh. Yeah, Destroyer's a little too far forward right now. Frigates effectively trade against destroyers as far as metal per metal goes. Bit of a weird battle that, but it does work. Submarine now, firing away at the commander. Would love to see a capture commander on this. Capture command, rather. No, yeah, no depth charge launching here, so it's just the torpedo spitter. All that being said, I guess the commander's gonna jump out of the water. That'll be all she wrote right here for the blue team on the high seas of the northern region. Beautifully, beautifully done. We do have a lot of build power up here. Gonna be throwing together a radar jammer. Not bad, not the end of the world. It is a little far forward though. I guess it's just wherever we can manage to fit it with the build power being scarce right here for the lime green commander. Hopefully we can get some T2 over in that direction shortly. My goodness, Hornet is investing heavily into a whole bunch of T1. The T2 should probably be going on sometime. We're having a negotiation here. Yeah, so the Lavender commander refusing to upgrade his teammates' metal and demanding payment here. Yeah, not ideal. Typically, if you're going for a hard eco roll, you just go ahead and you cough up the metal. If someone pays you, you can give them the constructor first, but yeah, definitely subpar teamwork. Not going to cut it against players as good as the ones that you're going up against here. I mean, 52 true skill, 39 true skill. The game actually appears fairly imbalanced. I'm not going to lie. Not going to lie. It looks like we've, I mean, basically 40 true skill versus 52, and then 39 versus 35. I mean, I guess it kind of lines up, but still a little bit disparaged. Either way, though, it doesn't look like the red team is having a bad time regardless. Indeed, Vanaja holding the high seas, as was probably well expected. The northern side crumbling quite quickly here as, yeah, Skyfire's rapidly losing positions. We did have a commander go down over here, by the way. Looks like that was the Battle Bandit. Sacrificed his commander to clear out all of those LLTs over there. A valiant and noble sacrifice. Well, let's take a look at the middle of the map right here. I've been neglecting this battle that's been going on, but we are finally making our way towards the T2 transition here. We've got a couple of Sheldon now. We've got the... Oh, forgetting the name right now. The Mauser, that's right. Wow. Probably one of my favorite units in the game, and I just forgot its name. How despicable of me. Sheldon and Mauser. Quite a wombo combo, if you ask me. Gonna be firing away from extremely far. Blasting apart all this T1 with extreme efficiency. Do we have a radar tower? We do. We have radar towers. Okay, good. Radar tower is going to be providing a little bit of range. Since we're so heavy onto the artillery, I wouldn't mind seeing a pinpointer or two come up as well. There's a submarine, one of the last ones built by the green commander here. It'll be hunted down and destroyed, leaving nothing but a depressurized waste. The problem with the Navy is once you lose one or two battles, if your enemy manages to capitalize on it, as well they should, you're pretty much done for. You're pretty much done for. And that goes fair enough for land-based engagements too, especially if you manage to keep all of your, well, especially for vehicles, if you manage to keep all that alive. But it's certainly true. Oh, Sunky. It's certainly true that it's a little harder because as a vehicle commander, for instance, you don't have access to, say, a whole bunch of res bots or anything like that. Whereas Navy, you have the res subs, you have the res bots, you have all that good stuff. Oh, is this a little bit of a play? Oh, I think this is a play. Metrach Ubermania has actually told these lightning towers not to fire. Yeah, there they go. Fire at will is enabled. They're going to start blasting away at the commander. No energy on Sunky. Oh, that was so close. 16% HP was left on the powder blue commander. What a cheeky little play right there from the brown commander. Tried to hide those lightning turrets and pop them up to kill the commander. Very close to managing to blow up that commander right next to his entire army, but just barely managed to get away from it. Yeah, Sunky even says in chat, cheeky, cheeky. What a cute little play right there. I absolutely love it. My goodness, we've made quite a transition here. Some 10 Random, I guess, has decided that since we've won the naval field, there's not much left to be fought over here. Little does he know, the green commander is actually back in the game. We have, yeah, build power building off the cliffs right here and out into the seas. Torpedo spitters going out into the depths of the waters, trying to clean up a bunch of these metal extractors. I love that, actually. Yeah, we're going to shut down a whole lot of that build power over there. Sorry, a whole bunch of that metal extractor power. Fiends on the fronts here to clean up whatever they can. It's good stuff. The time has come, though. The march of the clones. All of the pawns do go forward. Let me switch to cinema mode. Yeah, that's quite beautiful. The pawns sprinting forward directly into this Mauser line and doing a phenomenal job of collapsing on top of everything the blue commander had. My goodness, the swarm has prevailed. And just like that, the blue commander will be beset upon by about 100 pawns firing their little plasma cannons left, right, and center. He will go down in a thermonuclear burst of power. And just like that, that entire push has been fairly well stalled out at this point, yeah. That was a beautiful, beautiful play right there by the red commander. Hopefully we see a transition here. Maybe we could switch into a more solid push, going for maybe maces and then into resbots, that sort of a thing. Or we can just go into tick spam right here. Obviously, those T1 labs quite proficient in spamming out those ticks quite quickly. The lightning tanks here are going to do a fabulous job of cleaning all the rest of this up, though. Yeah, we had the resbots, but we didn't have them ready in time with the push. If those resbots had managed to push with the actual wave and reclaim while they were fighting, I think this probably would have been a huge advantage right now, but as it stands, the blue team is actually the ones that are going to be resurrecting quite a bit more of this entire wreckage field right here. These submarines also making this very difficult to fund. Yeah, some 10 random suddenly having to deal with all these submarines having a bad day. We do have a couple of destroyers that are positioned over here to try and intercept any submarines or anything else that move in that direction. Definitely having a tricky time, though, trying to manage all of that at the same time. Vanaja having a much better time out in the oceans. Yeah, you can see this commander more than happy to eat up all the wreckages of all these units over here, trying to blast away those metal extractors offshore, and going to, I'm sure, make a transition rapidly towards something that can have much more of an impact here. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe even we eat up this T2 lab and go for a amphibious gantry, or maybe we could just go for a couple of those capital ships. Not sure how many bases you could reach with those capital ships. I assume, yeah, I guess you could probably reach at least 3 from one of the seas. Quite powerful stuff, those new and improved Black Hydra. All of the capital ships, really, but the Black Hydra certainly is very dominative as it stands right now. Bull's pushing forward with the lightning tanks. Lightning tanks mostly clear out the chaff, like for instance the hundreds and hundreds of ticks having a field day blasting away at these. Build power goes up in smoke. That's quite nice, though. Yep. There goes the build power, and that effectively shuts these labs off. More or less, they're completely disabled. Bull's not going to have too hard of a time against the ticks either, and that heavy armor is coming in so handy right there. Beautifully, beautifully done by the blue commander. Investing in that tech and eventually continuing to apply the pressure manages to break through once more. Submarines have been so effective over here. My goodness. We've shut down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 metal extractors that were claimed by the red commander. Now, we are rebuilding them right now for some 10 random, which is quite nice. But it's important to note that it has definitely been a crazy, crazy back and forth on the high seas. I really didn't expect such a crippling comeback right here for the green commander, but managing to reinvest all that T2 economy back into T1 units, it seems to have caught the red team off guard and then the ocean, yeah. Torpedo bombers coming in to try and save the day right here. Yep, nicely done. One of the most efficient ways to effectively destroy Navy, going for those torpedo bombers. They're quite expensive, the torpedo bombers, so you do have to use them a little bit sparingly. Not the end of the world, though. There, we're going for a naval fusion reactor even out here, yeah. You can tell Vanaj is getting ready for a late game. We have the constructor going around upgrading those metal extractors. He's going to pull out 9.2 metal per second, which is phenomenal. Certainly a tremendous amount of metal. Even for the high seas, it's a tremendous amount of metal. Sheldon pushing back right here, though. Eventually that push is cleaned up over here, but it cost a lot from the red team. We do have fiends in the backline as well. Ah, it looks like a bunch of lavender fiends have actually run across right here. Yeah, you can see all in the backline these fiends have made it all the way across. They're going to start burning down a bunch of these Amexes that have been, well, scorched by the flames of their brethren. Torpedo bombers now harassing the base of the red commander even. Wow. Love the air support here, yeah. The purple commander actually coming in clutch here, sending those torpedo bombers across. There's a commander in there we can target, by the way, in case you're so inclined. Yeah, the commander, in obvious target. Commander goes up, and basically everything around it does too. Slightly nerfed, I guess you could say, but torpedo bombers should have absolutely no problems. They're homing torpedoes quite effective at taking down commanders when they don't drop them onto the land. When being the key stipulation there. Sheldon skirting the edge of this wasteland here, encountering many a red planet plant. Not a tentacle plant anymore. It's, I guess, just a red planet plant. Fiends continuing into the backline. Are these on heavy plasma? They are. We need to set those to Gauss mode. Going to make them quite a bit more effective against the Fiends. Well, you know what? The Fiend's moving in a straight line. It's not really going to matter one way or another. All good. The blue team trying to reinitiate on that opening here, but the T2 transition has caught up with the red team. So despite all that damage that was done, at this point, we're going to need a T3 transition or a tremendous amount of T2. There's a nice fight. Bunch of frigates jumping on top of a whole bunch of destroyers. Pretty much the perfect engagement right here. We do have the res bots picking all this stuff back up too. Absolutely critical to making sure these Navy fights go the way that you hope. Yeah, this is a beautiful, beautiful engagement right here. Wonderfully done by our green commander, Skyfire. A perfect use of those res bots, getting all the units that can be resurrected back up and running. And then, of course, they can just eat up all that juicy metal after they're done. Medium tanks trying desperately. Bulls casually swatting them down. Man, they shoot a heavy projectile. The bull, not one of the units that you really want to mess with all too hard. I've told this story before, but when I was first learning how to play this game, when I was first learning, you know, what the units were in this game even, I used to think the bull was terrible. I used to look at its price tag and think, yeah, this thing is atrocious. I mean, look how dumb it looks. And then I used one once and I realized how overwhelmingly powerful they were. And never ever since have I disparaged the bull again. Much respect to that twin cannoned beast. If only a little bit pricey, yeah. Starlights on the front are quite nice, though. Certainly will clean up a bunch of that medium tank chaff quite efficiently here. Gunships in the sky, providing line of sight importantly, but also a little bit of firepower. Nuke up and running. Oh, just barely missed. You can see the idea there was to send that nuke careening directly into the lime green army. Missed by a hair, though, and that green army will continue moving forward. WTF was that nuke, cries out Skyfire, realizing he just narrowly avoided a thermonuclear collision. Beautifully, beautifully done right there by the green commander, keeping the boats on afloat and moving and a grooving. Hot pink commander in a whole lot of trouble now. Facility of production under duress. Yep, that destroyer will go down. Torpedo launchers will fall as well, and the res bots are going to have a field day dismantling all of that. Beautifully, beautifully done right now. And meanwhile, Vanaja has absolutely run amok out here on the high seas. You can see a tremendous amount of production over here. We have all the metal extractors upgrading left, right, and center here. We have res subs picking up and resurrecting and reclaiming whatever they can. Absolutely beautiful. Those missile boats have been firing away over here as well. Well, Starlights have been doing a great job of pushing them back, but it is certain that those boats will be back eventually. These submarines, man, they've been doing so much good work. Yeah, the amount of damage these submarines have done just by taking down these metal extractors that the Red Commander keeps trying to rebuild, absolutely heinous. Love to see it. Gunships taking out this high ground over here as well. Expensive to fight that anti-air, but it is light anti-air. Those are T2 gunships. They've got thick armor plating. They should be more than capable of taking down just about everything that's up there on that high ground, clearing out a whole lot of the economy for the Tan Commander. That is really nicely done. Now the nuke is charged once more. Are we going to fire it? We have the missile. Question is, where are we going to put it? The blue team reacting quite splendidly to the nuclear detonation over there in the high seas and actually going ahead and getting a, bunch of anti-nukes set up all over the place. Always good to see. Hornet going for some of those expensive T3 units. We've got the Demons coming up right now, but we've also got some more Aphises coming up. We went for heavy investment into the fusion reactors, but I guess it works. I've seen some debate about that, actually, about whether the fusion reactor is viable as a means of scaling the economy because you can get it up so much quicker. You can essentially have it converting a lot faster was the argument, right? The time that it takes to build an Aphis, the extra 3,000 metal or so to put together an Aphis, you can already have been producing metal, which I thought was a pretty interesting take. Might even be true. I'd have to run the numbers. Wow. Talk about a comeback right here from Skyfire. Managing to win out not against one, but two different opponents in the high seas right here. Taking the trades efficiently, building up the economy in the background, and more importantly than anything else, refusing to give in. Managing to eventually reclaim control over essentially the entire high seas. This is beautiful. That amount of metal over here should absolutely fund the T2 transition. And once that's underway, I have no doubts that the Lime Green Commander is going to see tremendous success right here. After the T2 boats start to waddle their way out, it'll quell any opposition that might lay before the might of the Green Navy. Beautifully, beautifully done. What a powerhouse. They call him the mitochondria of this cell. Certainly showing us why. Frigates are falling left, right, and center. All we need to do is take down that lab, and we've essentially secured the naval game. It's going to be tough, though. There's a lot of build power surrounding all that. Torpedo launchers, an obvious target. Wonderfully done. Frigates are falling. Fighters in the air to take out torpedo bombers, which is important too. Was that a scuttle? There was something over there. Not sure what it was entirely, but there was something over there. Pitbull off the coast, doing a lot of damage. But just like that, the base of the Hot Pink Commander is completely blown to smithereens. Demons on the front, more than happy to burn away any of this T2 chaff, even though they do have relatively light armor. Yeah. Makes them prone to fire from those high damage compositions. Sheldon balls, sharpshooters. Mammoths, technically, just because they can survive to put a bunch of damage on you, I guess. The Demon is so cool, but I can't help but wonder if it's really well worth it. With its significant cut to power level, just based on the lack of amphibiosity, as well as the fact that you have to deal with their relatively low HP count. Nice nuke right there. Putting it right in the middle of the isthmus. Don't mind me invoking the word. If I invoke it at least once, it means it'll pull in about 20 more people. I should probably just say it all over the place. Naval Lab has been rebuilt here. We need to keep this shut down, I think. Not gonna matter though. I mean, we can just go for the T2 lab anytime now and we're gonna be all set. For whatever reason, Sky Fury is reluctant to go for it, but I think now is the time. A moment of peace over here as the gunships ravage this northern island as well. Essentially going to turn into a battle of who can capitalize on their sea faster. We have Vanaja sending out a capital ship already built and already on its way towards the middle line of the blue team over here versus the green commander who is still trying to figure out how to clean up the rest of his sea over on this side. Not the end of the world, but certainly going to be tricky. So many frigates already pumped out. This is why we need to keep monitoring this. We should have built a radar over here or something. At the very least kept a boat wandering around over here. We're going to discover that indeed there's another big army built on up over here. A big navy, I should say. I think it's time to go for some of those heavier T3 units. Hornet actually disagreeing here, instead making a transition into T2 air. I don't mind it. Certainly those T2 air units can be extremely impactful. The Dragon, for one, very, very good at shutting down some of those heavier units. We do have quite a lot of anti-air mixed in here, so it'll be tricky to shut all that down. But certainly with at least enough of those anti-air units, this would be more than possible. Pulsar over here. Not able to fire out at the capital ship out in the water. I will say, though, neat trick about the Pulsar is you can actually turn it off. If you turn the Pulsar off, it has extremely high armor value. Makes it very, very good at just being a wall. A little bit of a strange use case, but certainly if no other use, yeah, it can be a fairly decent wall. My goodness, we're producing a second capital ship here. Can't help but wonder if those capital ships are going to find more effect just being Juggernauts or Shiva or anything else amphibious that can make its way onto land to do some damage. But at the same time, I mean, these really can't shoot out for miles and miles right here. The bubble shield's coming up right now. Not gonna last forever, though. The capital ship's actually quite good at penetrating bubble shields now. I'm not sure how many it takes, but I'll tell you right now, it certainly isn't 2. Yeah, those projectiles punching through the defenses. Ooh, and just like that, I have a feeling we're gonna see the blue commander going up in smoke. Down go the energy converters too, which was effectively how most of the metal was being produced here. None of these metal extractors on the front are still up and running. We do have a demon just about resurrected here. That's quite nice. Something for the blue commander to look forward to. Certainly not a great day right now, though, with that capital ship continuing to shell away. Torpedo spewers waddling their way underwater here, aka the Duck. Marching its way across, trying to do damage to whatever it can. They will find the capital ship here. I mean, they certainly can do some damage. About 1% of damage per torpedo they fire, but there's a whole bunch of them. We've got 14 Ducks right here, certainly capable of blasting down a capital ship in, well, less time than you think. Super torpedo launchers coming up and online right now, though. Gonna start firing away at a bunch of these Ducks. Trying to blast them to oblivion. Not bad. Torpedo is quite powerful. Very, very good when it comes to dealing with effectively anything. Sort of a one case solves any problem kind of a situation here. Another big nuke connects in the middle of the map right here, wiping out so many of those blue support forces. I think we gotta send this demon across. I think maybe if we send it across up through the northern section, yeah, it looks like underscore agrees with me here. Also has a nuclear chamber charged up. Curious. Wonder if we're gonna go for a nuclear attack. Oh, looks like I missed one. Looks like the Maroon Commander has lost the entire base over here in a nuclear strike. Apologies for that, as I'm sure somebody has already gone down to the comment section and pointed out. We're gonna go ahead and keep on keeping on though. I'm curious what endgame situation, or what endgame scenarios rather, these commanders are gonna opt for. Always one of the things that makes me curious. Well, there we go. Talk about a game ender. The blue commander losing the entire base to a thermonuclear strike sent across the map once those capital ships were well able to blast away that anti-nuke protecting the blue base. Down goes the blue base, and virtually any hope that the blue commander had of getting back into this game, save for receiving a whole bunch of support right here from other commanders across the field. Looks like these Navy units have managed to get their value. I'm so critical of the capital ship, but I think I'm being critical of a version of the capital ship that just no longer exists. The beefed up capital ships, especially the beefed up Black Hydras, seem to be extremely capable of dishing out some serious damage nowadays. Certainly more than enough to get a lot of value out. Singular fortification wall here. Interesting. Plasma battery at the very least going to start firing away over there. Demon in the backline. What on earth? It's gone neglected, and now the demon in the backline is starting to blast down whatever it can. There we go. Oh, pardon me. My laundry is done, apparently. Sunday's laundry day. Now you know. Nice D-gun right there from Commander Zod. We'll put an end to the rampage of that blue tyrant, but that's effectively the last unit that the blue commander has, and with its D-gun, you can see blue commander calls for the resign vote immediately. Now, Hornet not ready to tap in yet because, of course, we have got a full-blown T3 gantry coming up right now. Will it be enough to save the red team from total destruction? Well, every nuke that connects brings me further and further to saying no. The red team just needs to continue scaling here. Yeah, you can see the orange commander continuing to build a bunch of aphises, continuing to build energy in the backline, continuing to make sure that the eco continues growing. And as long as the eco continues growing, and there's no way the blue team's going to be able to come back from this, because we also should see these metal extractors claimed here. We do have T2 constructors up on the front, so I'd love to see those moving forward to claim all this. Still an excellent position over here on the northern side, though. Yeah, I mean, if Skyfire manages to capitalize on this properly, maybe we could see a turnaround over here. Missile ships firing away at the coast, taking down those pit bulls that were built as sort of ramp defense over here. There is a cheeky little beachhead you can load units onto and then move their way up the beach over there. Always good to see. What you doing in sea, little bro? Cries out the green commander as Sunky retreats to the sea over here, pushed off the front line and away from all of this. Build power reacts right here. I wish build turrets could save themselves from chain reactions like that. I really do. One of the things that makes it so frustrating about building any kind of eco is how much the build power chain reacts in the late game like that. Basically, your only option to spread them out, essentially building them properly. Bull's making it to the back line, but the demon will clean them up. Taking out that build power right there effectively shuts off all these labs, though. Going to be very difficult to get back into this, especially considering we actually lost the T1 lab right here. Going to mean we need to use these T1 constructors to refill this area with build power. With 3 dreadnought battleships, 3 flagship class battleships. Just trying to remember the name. 3 flagship class battleships, going to make it quite difficult to fill in here. My goodness, we're going for it though. Yeah, bombers into the backline. No air forces here. The Maroon Commander was the air defender. Oh my goodness, we've done it. We've actually done it. We targeted down the eco right here of the Orange Commander. We only need a couple more bombs to drop. 4%, and boom goes the base for Commander Zod. The Orange Commander loses it all in a stunning bombing run here from the the Purple Commander. Brightworks knows his colors for sure. Actually manages to bring this game a whole lot closer to where it was. Fusion reactor will be the target of these bombers moving forward here. There is an anti-nuke here, but could also, you know, sneaky down the anti-nuke and manage to go for a nuclear attack right now. My goodness, is the blue team actually doing it? Just like that, the energy deficit is tremendous here for the red team at the very least. They're making up some of the metal difference right now by the Yeah, by the usage of the reclaim function right now, we were, well, somewhere around the line, we were reclaiming a whole bunch. But at this point, it really doesn't matter. The blue team suddenly taking a pressing lead. Those bombers have done so much work. All that economy right down the drain with just a couple of bombers all the way across over here. Lieutenant Greenleaf cries out that I've been dead for the last 7 minutes. Yeah, Maroon Commander was the air player. Nobody noticed, not even me. That's my job. I've been begging for cons. Yeah, we have immediate air labs starting up right here. Vanaja realizing immediately that there's an issue. Starts up some air labs, starts up some build power, starts transitioning into air forces just so that we can try and save something of this horrible, horrible situation here. Geothermal in so much trouble. Oh, okay. Bomber will be reprogrammed. But now it's the time for the March of the Demons. Here they go, steadily making their way across the map. We do have one of these capital ships firing away over here too. Doing so much damage, reaching out way further than you'd think. Oh my goodness. I think the blue team has done it. I think the blue team just may well have done it. The right units at the right time in the right place and at just the right amount of force, managing to break their way all the way back into this game right here. Red Commander investing heavily in wind turbines right now. Wind speed at its absolute minimum, making these wind turbines look like absolute fools. More and more demons coming across. Ooh, meanwhile, the base of the Seafoam Green Commander does go up in smoke right there. Beautiful, beautiful play. Yeah. Hornet's base, Hornet's facility ravaged right here by a couple of amphibious units. Oh, no, sorry. A couple of bombers sneak through over here. I'm reading the signs of the battlefield. This is beautiful. I'm debating whether I should go back and look at that play. What are we at? 35 minutes? You can go ahead and check out the replay for yourself. Maybe that's a little bit of a rude thing to say. I'll catch this one, though. Tell you what. So much going on right now between these players. I love the Dam Buster so much. I really do. I think that's probably one of the most powerful bombers in the game. It drops, I don't know how many projectiles. It's got to be like 50 projectiles or something like that. Absolutely brutal. Meanwhile, other side of the map, demons continuing to push forward. My goodness, these players are at each other's throats. I don't know who to look at. I really don't. Fighters eventually cleaning up all the bombers that were sent across right here by Vanaja. Demons still running amok in the background over here, though. The air transfer right here from Battle Bandit, the air transition rather from Battle Bandit, means that we will no longer see any, well, no longer see any fighters shortly here as the Cyan Commander moves these demons forward. The ecos for both teams in shambles right now. You can see dropping from the thousands to just about 500 for the blue team and a little around 300 for the red team here. Oh my goodness. This is looking absolutely disgusting. The demons burning away everything that they can. Down goes the red team. Effectively turning this into the blue team versus Vanaja. The blue team versus Vanaja. In a stunning turn of events, it would appear that that is not a particularly fair game, although it's fairly close. More Dam Busters coming across right now. We do still have a couple of fighters up in the air here, but that is a lot of swarmers that we've got up and running. Bats, pardon me. Demons aren't done in the backline quite yet either. Gonna take out the anti-air turrets, which is always quite nice too. Shutting those down means any air forces can run their way on through, opening up the opportunity for any air plays in the backline. Always a good idea. Capital ships at home to defend, actually, of all things. And here go the swarmers. Yeah, I mean, just about 100 of them moving forward right now. Sorry, the Cortex swarmer. Yeah, no chance from the air player to reclaim all this or rebuild from all this. Dam Busters headed in. What are we targeting? We're gonna go after the fusion reactors. All right, makes sense. Could go after the anti-nuke too. Maybe try and launch a nuclear strike. Bombers will take out the fusion though, and I guess in a roundabout way do manage to take out the anti-nuke as well. Obviously, they're more than happy to take out that APHIS, but I think probably what they're more worried about is not dying. Yeah, we need to keep all these bombers alive, preferably. Well, okay, down go a lot of them. Still not all of them, but quite a lot of them. AA guns have been set up though. Trying to shoot down as many of these bombers as they can. Oh no, there's just too many, sir. So many bombers headed towards the blue facilities here. Oh my goodness, we've had a complete base trade. A 100% base trade. We haven't seen one of those in a good long while. Just like that, the bombers managed to take out a huge portion of the economy right here for Marabella, the Cyan commander. We do have Sunken rebuilding in the ocean right here, which is quite cool, actually. Going for a seaplane platform of their own. And just like that, the blue team has become the Northern Sea team, and the red team has become the Southern Sea team. Here? What are we talking about? I've disabled spectator chat so that we don't get bothered by it. Apparently there's a, effectively some people were being naughty in spectator chat, so I had to turn it off. Shaking my head. This is why we can't have nice things. Couple of demons marching their way forward right now. How are we going to kill this base, though, is the question. What we really need is some sort of amphibious unit that can also transition to a land-based unit over here. And the unit that comes to mind for me is the Platypus. Yeah, a couple of those T2 Armada bots that are essentially hovercraft bots. I think they might serve quite well here. This has rapidly become the game of seaplane gunships. Well, just seaplanes in general, I guess. Benzibar, by the way, one of 2 commanders left for the blue team. Meanwhile, the remaining commander for the red team, Vanaja's commander, parked right there, right next to all those energy storages and E-converters and all that sort of stuff. A whole bunch of demons taking fire right here. Got to retreat a little bit. We have some constructors handed over to some 10 random. It genuinely is the yellow commander versus all of the blue. To be fair, though, most of the blue has been wiped out at this point. We do have bulls moving forward with a whole bunch of anti-air accompaniments to make sure that this all stays alive. Oh, we're trying to degun here. This is a decoy commander. Ironically enough, that's a decoy commander. Scaring them back with the degun here. Doing its best to, anyways. Oh, that is so funny. Handing someone a decoy commander is such a cheeky thing to do. Decoy commanders have no tech path abilities. They can't invest or upgrade or anything like that. Or the bombers coming in for it. Oh no, they're going after the Aphis. That's probably a way better idea. Pretty funny though if we did go after the decoy commander with the bombers. Down it goes. Explodes into a shower of confetti. Bats versus bats right here. It's just like that. Cyan commander decides to tap out of this game. Anti-air trucks and bulls. Talk about a wombo combo. Moving forward right now, trying to get into the Cyan facility. Sorry, not the Cyan, the lime green facility. Really losing my colors today. Heavy laser towers probably not going to be sufficient. I'm going to go out on a guess here and say that the heavy laser towers are probably not going to stand up to the armor plating on those bulls. Down goes the energy storage right there. You have scorpion turrets. That's much more convincing. Advanced Geo in a whole lot of trouble here, though. Yep. AGO will pop. Boom goes the upwards part of the green production facility. Not all of it at this point, but certainly a substantial portion of it. Chain reacts into the seas here as well, which is always important. These continued scouting waves sent out right here by the yellow commander, trying to find openings, exposed weaknesses in the armor here of the green player and the yeah, basically just the green player. I guess we have the D3 gantry up right now, and it's still sort of cranking out units, very slowly, but very surely. Yeah, there we go. We get one more demon out. Sure. Demon will be pretty good for blasting in a whole bunch of these. This is what eventually killed Hornet, too, was the fact that we were firing into our own buildings because of the corner clipping on the demons. Definitely unfortunate about that. How do we end this game? What is our end game condition? One of the things I could imagine is just setting a Juggernaut across. You can imagine parking a Juggernaut underneath all this would probably be fairly bad for its health. That would require a amphibious gantry, though. Are we going to invest in such things? The answer may surprise you. Because the answer is no. Apparently we're not interested in such things. We also don't really have a fabulous economy here. You know what? Yeah, I'm kind of looking at it. I mean, we've got the titles, which are producing most of the power right here. Unless I'm missing a bunch of naval fusion reactors somewhere, it doesn't look like we really have that much power in the bank. Yeah, a lot of production goes down the drain right here for the Green Commander. Despite the anti-air here, it's just not thick enough to shoot down all those bombers, all those fighters, all the rest of it. Stand Buster's still looking for some value here. Gonna deploy their bombs directly on top of a bunch of these. The bouncing bombs managed to actually take out the whole row of seaplane platforms right there. Quite nice. The continued bombings right now from the Yellow Commander have managed to send waves through the blue team. Oh, this is so tense. Any of them could take it at any second here. Marauder spam will be the weapon of choice right now from Vanaja, who's deciding to, yeah, go ahead and send some of those speedy boys across the map right now to try and do some damage. Benziar has been spotted. We've discovered this commander's location vis-a-vis the anti-air firing away over here. So at the very least, we're going to try and maybe address that. A couple of torpedo gunships, maybe. The slow rebuild attempted over here. Very, very slow. Marauder running in all sorts of directions. Seaplane fighters actually shoot down a lot of this really nicely, though. Yeah, seaplane gunships. Definitely gonna lose to seaplane fighters. That's a given. I genuinely couldn't tell you who wins this. The blue team, significantly smaller economy at this point. Because Vanaja has ecoed up quite nicely here. We've got all the fusion reactors, we've got the energy converters, all that sort of stuff. But it's just Vanaja versus multiple different players contributing right here. I mean, you can see we've got quite a lot of them. Yeah, it looks like the Green Commander has had enough of this and actually starts scouting on his own. Finds a bunch of fighters that were parked up north right here, so that's quite nice. At the very least, those are going to be able to try and help out a little bit. Shoot down some constructors, that's pretty annoying. I think those are the last constructors available right there for the Tan Commander, so losing those definitely hurts a little bit. Yeah, your options to clean all this up are definitely slim. One thing that could certainly work, though, is just investing in a whole bunch of bombers. Trying to do a bunch of damage to all the things out in the ocean with the bombers. I think I'm gonna go ahead and speed this up. We'll see who wins this in the end after all. Resbot's not gonna be able to do so much as those demons are still lurking up on the northern side. Big old fighter spam is turned back online, though, so we will see a lot of those bats being pumped out right now by the Yellow Commanders sent up north to the northern side. Scout planes, meanwhile, gonna head down south and reveal there is indeed a big old Marauder push heading on through. Demons, pretty good for cleaning up Marauders, but obviously, 100 Marauders is gonna be 2 demons. Benziar, running for their life. Trying desperately to. Will be spotted, though, and hunted down, and that leaves 1 commander apiece for each team. Suddenly, this game is neck and neck right here. Sunky is the last commander, hidden in this little cove over here. That's quite a tricky place to find a commander. Oh, and it looks like the blue team actually, at the end of the day, decides to tap out, pardon me. Throw in the towel, cave to the force of the Yellow Commander. My goodness. What a crazy, crazy back and forth match. I don't know if I've ever seen a match like that. That certainly was an action-packed adventure, to say the very least. What a wild, wild back and forth, and I'm excited to see more matches on this map. Sorry again about the exciting pops that I missed, the bases going up in smoke, but it was definitely a very hectic match, to say the very least. You're more than welcome always to go check out the replays, by the way. A lot of these are submitted on the Brightworks Discord channel, so if you want to go check that out, you're more than welcome to. The link will be down below in the description as always, or you can always go to the official Beyond a Reason website and just sort by players, and that'll usually get you close enough that you'll figure out which one is which. Anywho, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the very next cast of Beyond All Reason. Peace out, everybody.